All right, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at BoxingWave10. All right, Gervonta Tank Davis is going to be fighting Mario Barrios this weekend, this Saturday on Showtime pay-per-view. It's going to be a pay-per-view, all right? And I should be covering the fight. Now, normally I get on here early. I cover all the pre-fights leading up to the main fights. I'm not sure if I'm going to be back home on time to cover all of the fights, but I will definitely be covering the Tank Davis fight as well as the Lomachenko fight on ESPN, all right? So let's get into it. This is not going to be a long video. I have to run out. As you can see, I'm dressed up. I have to run out to work. Very, very limited time these last few weeks here on YouTube. But let's get into it, man. Tank Davis is moving up to 140, all right? So before we get into the fight, let's break down this whole title situation, because I know this causes a lot of confusion when it comes, especially when it comes to the WBA, because they have so many junior titles, all right? There's a super title at every division. At 140, where Tank and Barrios will be fighting. Barrios is actually the champion right now. This is for the WBA regular title. It's not for the super title. The super title is being held by Josh Taylor, who is now undisputed, right? So he actually holds the title, the main title. The junior title is the regular title, all right? So yes, he is a title holder. Whoever wins this fight will hold a title, but there is one title above, all right? So it's basically a junior title. Same thing with 135, where Teofimo Lopez holds the super WBA title. Tank Davis owns the regular WBA title, all right, after he beat Gamboa. And then at 130, Tank actually holds the legitimate super world title. This is not a hate. This is not hating. I'm just explaining what's going on here. So he is a champion. He is fighting for a title. He does have a legit title. It's just that there's one title above at 140, which is what he will be fighting for this weekend. So he is moving up. He's never fought at the division. He's only fought at 135 once, I believe, once against Gamboa. And he's been actively fighting as a 130 pounder. So he is technically going up 2 divisions in this fight here, because the last fight he fought was for a title back at 130. So he's going to skip 135, which he fought at before. And now he's going up to 140 to fight Mario Barrios, who holds the regular WBA title. All right. And again, no hate, because this is what we do here. We call everything out. When Triple G, when they were promoting him as having more title defenses than Bernard Hopkins at middleweight, whatever 19 or whatever the record was at that time, what did we do? We called it out, because at that time, Golovkin went years of defending his regular WBA title, when Felix Sturm was the one that was holding the super title. All right. And then eventually he beat Daniel Gill and won the super title, but they were counting his regular title defenses as in title defenses, which is inaccurate. Bernard Hopkins was actually defending the super WBA title. All right. So we always got to, I know just spent about a good few minutes just discussing that, but it's something that I've been reading in comments of, or social media, that people are saying, and the promoters are promoting that this is his 3rd division as a champion. Yes, technically it is, but no, he's not holding the highest level title. All right. In these 3 divisions, he only has one major title, and that's down at 130 from beating Leo Santa Cruz. All right. So let's get into it. And I believe the Jose Pedraza fight was for a title as well. Okay, it was for the IBF title. All right, so he's been a champion at 130, but he was stripped against Fonseca when he missed weight. All right, but he won the title back, being Leo Santa Cruz. So let's get into this fight. First of all, I like the fight. I do like the fight. Would I have preferred to see other fights like some of the other fighters that's at 130, some of the other best fighters? I'm a guy that likes the fighters to fight the best fighters in their division. But we're in a different age now where guys like to bounce around between weights and, get fights, pretty much pick their fights and fight whoever they want to at whatever weight that they want to. That's the time we're in. And Gervonta Tank Davis is one of those guys that's doing that. He has star power. He is a pay-per-view fighter at this point. We're always going to, people complain about pay-per-view. Do I think this should be pay-per-view? No, I don't. But once you have a pay-per-view, they kind of keep you on that track at this point, especially with the PBC. They're big on doing the pay-per-view. They do a lot of pay-per-views. It is what it is. So, but it's not a bad fight, actually. I actually think this is a pretty cool fight. I would love to see him fight some of the other top fighters at 130. I would have loved to see him fight Shakur Stevenson or Oscar Valdez or go up to 135 even, because now if you're going up to 140, there's no reason why you can't fight the best at 140 unless you lose this fight, obviously, or fight the best at 135, who there's a lot of guys with names here. Teofimo Lopez, you got Ryan Garcia, you got Devin Haney. There's more, and you got Lomachenko, who we've been wanting to see that fight. So there's no real excuse on why you can't fight any of those guys. But they're sticking to what they want to do, all right? And it is what it is, But he's going up to fight Mario Barrios, who's undefeated. He's young, he's fresh. There's really nothing wrong with him. The challenge here, though, let's be honest. The main challenge with this fight for Tank Davis is that Mario Barrios is bigger than him, okay? He's bigger, he's taller, he's longer, and he's been fighting at 140 for a while now, all right? I believe he fought below 140, and I was hoping that there wouldn't be a catch weight in this fight, but there's not a catch weight, and this is the challenge for Tank here. Now, skill for skill, I don't think Barrios is on Tank's level. All right. If this was a fight between two men that was of the same size, kind of, Tank is about 5'5", 5'6". Barrios is about 5'10". Okay. With a 70-something inch reach. Tank got like a 67-inch reach, I believe. So Barrios clearly has the height and the reach here. And he's a bigger man, period. He's been fighting at 140. He won the title, legitimately won the regular title by fighting other guys at 140. All right? So that is the challenge here. And that's what makes it an intriguing fight, because you got to wonder. You have to wonder. Now, I was watching some of Barrios' fight with, I seen the Ryan Carl fight live. And I didn't go back to that because I kind of know how Cowboy fights. He's kind of like an action fighter. Barrios was able to knock him out. There's nothing there that I really needed to look at. All right, but I did watch the Akhmadov fight, which was also a recent fight with Barrios. And, the PBC YouTube account actually released that video a couple months ago. And I did get time to check it out. And the reason why I wanted to check it out, because not only is this one of the Barrios' toughest fights, a lot of people like to say that he got a gift in that fight, but he was fighting a southpaw there, which is what Tank is. And what I wanted to see is what Barrios can do as far as controlling the range, really. He was the taller, longer, fighter in that fight as well. And he was fighting a southpaw, so I wanted to see how he was controlling distance. And he does a good job. He definitely does a good job. I mean, that's his game. Because of his height and his reach advantage that he normally has. That is his game. Okay? He has very good fundamentals too. Very good fundamentals. He has good legs. He steps in and steps out. Very, very well. He has pretty good counter punching ability, good timing, good power. He has a good, what's his knock? Let's pull this up because I don't want to, I keep the box rec up now. So he's 26-0 with 17 knockouts. All right. So, he didn't fight any big time world beaters yet. But he's solid. I mean, based on the eye test, he's definitely good. And to be honest, I would like to say that this is in Tank's top 3 opponents to date, to me. Not including Gamboa, because Gamboa was way past it. Plus, he was injured in that fight. He's just way past it. I think Mario is probably the better challenge for Tank Davis because he's younger, he's fresher, he's taller, he's bigger, and all those things that I stated before. All right, so Mario Barrios, great at all of those things I just named. It seems to be pretty durable as well. Now, I know Tank in his divisions that he's fought. He's fought at 130, and he's a knockout artist, right? He fought at 135 against Gamboa, struggled a bit. Me personally don't think he really took that fight seriously because Gamboa is way past it. All right, he is. So I personally think he underperformed because he didn't take the fight seriously. He gassed very early. He just didn't look in shape. And he paid the price. All right, he struggled late against Gamboa, and he did get the stoppage, but he had to really, really, really pull through to get that stoppage. I think if he was fresh, I think he was prepared, I think he would have definitely stopped Gamboa within 6. All right, especially because Gamboa has always been kind of chinny, not an easy guy to KO. Definitely not an easy guy to KO, but definitely an easy guy to hurt and knock down. But Mario Barrios, I haven't seen him really hurt bad. Okay. I've seen him rocked a little bit, but I haven't seen him get knocked down or anything like that. He seems to be pretty durable at 140. But what I did notice, and in the Akhmadov fight, he was doing well. I think he dropped Akhmadov hard in the 4th round. And it seemed like he underperformed after that round. So going into the second half, maybe the 5th, 6th round, started to see a change in the pace of the fight. Akhmadov began to put more pressure on him, and Barrios' stamina looked poor in the second half of the fight. All right, he still won the fight to me, but he looked poor on the second half of the fight. All right, he was getting pressured, and he didn't seem to know what to do when they were on the inside. Akhmadov was a better fighter, and Tank is a well-balanced fighter. He's well-balanced. He can fight on the outside. Yes, he's short. But he's used to fighting guys that are taller and has a longer reach. He's comfortable with fighting on the inside. Thing with Tank Davis, doesn't have the best defense, though. He takes a lot of hits sometime to give some. Okay, that's the problem. Tank, another thing, he's a high-level athlete, right? Extremely fast, great legs as well, pivots well, turns in his opponents well, great shoulder roll defense. He rolls the punches well. Doesn't get hit clean that much, all right? And seems to be pretty durable as well up to this point. The thing is, he never fought a guy at 140. Now, do I think Tank is better than Barrios? Absolutely. Absolutely. What happens if he gets hit clean by a straight right hand by Barrios? Is he going to be taking these punches like the way he took them against Leo Santa Cruz? Knockout of the year, absolutely. But he took a lot of punches from Leo. A lot. All right? Leo's a guy that moved up from 26, right? He moved up to fight Tank. All right? Well, we had one fight at 130, but he basically moved up. He was a guy that fought at 122, even 118, I believe. Leo fought at 118. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But Leo was a much smaller guy that moved up to fight Tank, right? Even though he was taller and longer. He moved up. Tank is moving up to fight Mario Barrios. And I don't think Mario Barrios is better than Leo Santa Cruz as well. But he does what he does well. He's all about range, all right? Working behind his jab, setting up the right hand, okay? He goes some sneaky shots in there, here and there too. Good left hook. Good check left hook. I've seen it. He got tools. He definitely got tools. But he's pretty basic. He's kind of basic to me. He does everything well, but there's nothing that puts him above and beyond anyone. Tank he's kind of special. He's elite. You know what I'm saying? And even though he's shorter and he's the guy that's moving up, he's usually shorter against everybody he faces for the most part. All right. The two best fighters he faced before this fight was Pedraza and Leo Santa Cruz, and they both had the height and reach advantage over him. And he seemed to have no problems with those guys. But those guys weren't fighting at 140 at that time. I believe Pedraza's fighting at 140 now. So Barrios, very, very good. I think what he needs to do, and I think his best chances of winning here is, first of all, he has to work on his conditioning. Because if he slows down like the way he did against Akhmedov, he's going to have trouble against Tank. Especially if this is a Tank that's fully coming in, fully prepared. I would think it is, because this is a challenging fight for him. All right. So if he's finding Tank at his best, he needs to be prepared to work and fight for 12 rounds. All right. He didn't look like he was ready to fight for 12 rounds in that fight with Akhmedov. Akhmedov put the pressure on him, outworked him in the second half. All right. So that's one thing he needs to do. I think the best punch and the best opportunity to hurt Tank or beat Tank is by Tank, being that he's short and he doesn't have a long reach. Sometimes he throws that straight left from too far out. All right. And he leaves himself open for a counter. So if Barrios can work on like a pull counter with his right hand, a left hook, because sometimes when Tank shoots in that straight left, he leaves his guard down and he leaves himself kind of open as well. If he can catch Tank with one big right hand counter, that would be big, And if he has a power, he's the bigger guy. This is the bigger weight, and he's pretty much a solid puncher at 140. He can possibly hurt him more than any other fighter that Tank has fought, But if Tank is able to take his power and walk him down and be comfortable with doing that, Tank is going to stop him in the second half of this fight. All right. It will be done, And if Barrios is weak to the body, because I did see him take a body shot from Akhmedov that hurt him. I know the commentary wasn't really talking too much about him, but I saw it. And if Tank can work the body and hurt him to the body, especially when he's pushing forward, that can also be something that can set up a possible knockout later in the fight. We all know Tank has that very explosive uppercut. It's very fast. It's powerful. The way he shifts his body and lands it, it's crazy. So that's something that if Barrios does get knocked out in this fight, that'll be the punch. But I think Barrios, being that he is the bigger guy, and I think he's going to do a good job early in the first half of this fight, winning probably 3 or 4 rounds early on out of the first 6. I think Barrios is going to be able to survive. I'm not quite sure if Tank is going to get the knockout here in this fight. All right. I think Barrios is just a little bit more cautious, and he's a little bit more defensive than a Leo Santa Cruz or Jose Pedraza. Pedraza tried to do, his game plan was to overwhelm and pressure Tank. And Tank sat back and let Pedraza come to him, set him up with the counters as he was stepping in. And then later on, he started to give the pressure to Pedraza. Okay. And then in the Leo Santa Cruz fight, Leo was just kind of standing there boxing with him, holding his ground. he actually was doing well. I think it was anybody's fight up until the point he got knocked out, which was a big mistake on his part. So I think that Tank is going to win. My prediction, I'm actually predicting a decision win for Tank. All right. I think he could stop Barrios late because how explosive. If Barrios slows down late, I think Tank can definitely stop him. But I'm expecting a late stoppage, like 10th round type of thing, if there is one. But I'm expecting Tank to win this one by decision. That's my pick. Barrios, on the other hand, very dangerous. This is not a 50-50 fight, but I do think Barrios, if he does the right thing and he lands the perfect shot, I think he's definitely capable of hurting Tank and getting him out of there as well. So I'm definitely not sleeping on him. I like the fight. Not a 50-50 fight, but more like a 60-40 fight because of the differences in size and reach, all right, and power, all right, and weights. So anyway, that's my pick. I have Tank Davis winning this one. I think it's going to go the distance, but it should be a very good fight, all right? Leave your comments, subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.